E3 is just over a month away. It kicks off on June the 12th at the LA Convention Center. This will be the 24th E3, so it's been running for quite a while now. This is a roundup of some of the details we already know. We're already expecting conferences from the usual suspects: Microsoft, Bethesda, Ubisoft, Sony. The PC gaming show is also going to take place, so that'll be a lot more kind of for the niche kind of PC gaming market, the kind of more strategy games and stuff like that. Nintendo, as always, will stream a kind of pre-recorded thing. That's their style now. They do a video presentation rather than an actual conference. EA will also continue to run their separate event near the convention center at a similar date, but it's going to be their own thing. I don't know why they do that, but they do it. EA Play 2018, that's taking place on June the 9th to the 11th at the Hollywood Palladium. So that's a lot of gaming companies, a lot of announcements we're expecting, right, guys? So,
well, they've just... so we know a lot about E3 going in this year, and this is... let's go through what we can kind of expect. So first up, from Sony, they've kind of remained quiet, but their schedule looks pretty packed. According to the E3 exhibitor directory, Sony Computer Entertainment Europe are registered under pretty much every category you could think of. Some of the more interesting categories Sony are registered for include hardware peripherals, accessories, action adventure games, and role-playing games. But as for actual games, Sony have been completely silent on what will be included in the E3 lineup. But it's safe to assume we'll see the likes of The Last of Us Part 2, Ghosts of Tsushima, Days Gone, and Spider-Man. And knowing Sony, they'll probably at least have one surprise up their sleeve because as in previous exhibitions, they've announced God of War, Death Stranding, and Shenmue 3 and the Final Fantasy remake of the ones that we can think of. Just out of the blue, they announced them at conferences. So it seems to me that people talk about what Sony are putting out more than like the rumors behind what Sony are working on. So this is why I guess that it's more of a surprise when they announce something like God of War.
Yeah, I think they've been, for the last few years, they've been good and solid, and I think they haven't, as far as I'm concerned, I feel like I haven't been knocked out by Sony at E3 for the last few years, but they've always been good. There's always been a lot of games, and there's been some substance there, and they've been focusing on VR and stuff like that more recently. But there should be some decent games coming up from the Sony conference. Likewise, Microsoft and Phil Spencer, they've been talking a big game, so that's definitely one that I'm looking forward to. Microsoft seriously hyping up their E3 press conference. Xbox head Phil Spencer has been talking all kinds of stuff on Twitter. Spencer said Microsoft's plans for E3 are a bit different this year. He thinks people will like what Microsoft have planned. Here's a quote: "We are working on a plan this year that's a bit different post E3. I think people will like it, assuming it lands, which means it's probably, well, that's a bit of doubt in Phil Spencer's mind. They're a bit of a gamble. It sounds like them, assuming it lands. So whatever it is, it could pay off or it could not.
Maybe makes land, like a Sea of Thieves ship making land. I don't know.
Do you reckon it's a Sea of Thieves pun? Possibly.
Maybe if one of their new ships makes, I don't know. They need new ships, is what I'm saying.
That's some of our analysis there anyway. Spencer remains tight-lipped on what Microsoft will be showing exactly. He has revealed there will be strong support from third-party publishers, which is kind of, I guess, good if you haven't got a lot of studios, first-party studios working, then you want to get them big companies that are making the cross-platform games, third-party studios and stuff, on your stage and saying that Xbox One X is the best place to play, because as far as console is concerned, it absolutely is now, because it's the most powerful console. So expect a lot of that, a lot of like 4K. Look how great this game looks in 4K and stuff. A fan asked Spencer on Twitter if we'd be seeing more JRPGs at Microsoft stage this year. That's something that the company's notably been lacking recently. And Spencer responded, "As of now, yes. Things can change, but like last year, I wanted to make sure we supported our Japanese publishers on our stage, and this year we are working to do the same. It is important to us." That again is another pretty big announcement. If you're interested in your JRPGs and you're an Xbox gamer and you want to get some more Japanese games on your platform, that's got to be something to look forward to. And as with every E3, there's been many rumours of game reveals, including a new Forza, a Halo 6 reveal possibly, a new Fable from developer Playground Games, maybe even a Perfect Dark revival by Rare. There are games up the sleeve with Microsoft. They've got they have got some assets there that they're just not putting to use at the moment. So hopefully something like that will creep up at the list of those games there. Hopefully we'll see something from that. It is worth mentioning as well that Spencer recently said on Twitter that he's been listening to the calls for more first-party exclusives. Here's what he said: "I hear you. Invest more, invest in teams, empower them to create deep worlds with interesting stories and characters, and give them time." So again, more acknowledgement, more talk there from Microsoft that they are listening to fans who want that kind of big first party AAA experience, and they're just not getting it at the moment. So he's saying that they know that there is demand there. So the next step is doing something about it, which you'd hope they've already been doing for quite a while now.
Well, yeah, it was last year that the exclusive meme came out. Like everything that they announced, every like gameplay trailer, everything was preceded by the words exclusive. And it turns out 1 year later, how many exclusives actually came out of that? Not many, if you ask me. Not enough, that's for sure.
That's true.
Next up, Bethesda have been exploding with confidence about E3 this year, and they are reportedly very happy about how things are shaping up. In an interview with DualShockers, Bethesda Senior Vice President Pete Hines said the company will have a lot of new stuff to look at and talk about at E3. He said, quote, "I couldn't give you any guesses as to what we're going to announce and when those games will be out. But I will say we have a lot of new stuff to talk about at E3. Whether or not folks realize it, this is the hell on earth time for us with E3. We are in the midst of so much planning and work for all that content, but I'm really excited. I think we have lots of stuff that folks are going to really like. To my earlier comment, it's going to be a mixed bag of stuff that's all over the place. It's not going to be like all one kind of game or genre. It's going to be a lot of stuff in a lot of different areas, and hopefully there's something in there for everybody." So there is big talk about Bethesda showing off the new Starfield, or codename Starfield.
Some people are calling it Spaceland.
Spaceland, yeah. Some people. And then there's a sequel to Doom, which may or may not be coming, and then the DLC for the sleeper hit Prey.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to Bethesda's one. I think they've got a lot of stuff in the tank. They're just for a third party company, it's a lot of games.
They do it very well, don't they? Bethesda. They tend to, like with Fallout, they tend to announce something and then it's coming in 3 minutes time. That's what makes it exciting for me for Bethesda. It's like not only do they announce something, they say it's going to be within a certain period of time, and this is a release date. And what he's implying there, this is the crazy time behind the scenes for them, is that they are putting solid plans together, which again implies that they're coming out with something.
They actually have talked about that a lot, though. They actually say that it's their intention to get things out of the, once they've announced it, they don't want to be messing around. They've got a few months of marketing, and then they want gamers to be playing it, which I really like. And I like the fact that they're consciously doing that, and it's like a target for them. It's not just like kind of the way they do business. That's the way they want to do things. So if you see games E3 from Bethesda, you can look forward to playing them pretty soon. Probably, and that's a great thing, right? Moving on, I guess we've got Nintendo, keeping with their tradition, as we said at the top of the video. Nintendo will skip the big stage in favour of their smaller, more restrained showing. It'll be a video presentation. Nintendo revealed their plans for E3 in a tweet. They confirmed they'll be showing a Nintendo Direct presentation for Switch titles coming in 2018, including the hotly anticipated Super Smash Bros. That's definitely one of the biggest Switch exclusives that are coming up. After the Direct presentation, Nintendo will stream coverage of games from the Nintendo Treehouse, a Splatoon 2 World Championship, and a Smash Bros. Invitational tournament. It's also worth mentioning Nintendo has said they will only be showing games which are coming out in 2018. Titles beyond 2018 will be featured at a later date. So again, a similar kind of philosophy, I guess, to Bethesda, where they want to show stuff that's coming out soon, coming out immediately, things that you can. It's not like The Last of Us. You see The Last of Us trailer and you've got to wait years till you can play it. This is a completely different idea, where you show a game near finished state, and players can probably drop pre-orders and all that. That's part of the reason why they do it. But again, I like that. I like the way Nintendo are doing it. I like the fact that they're focusing on games that are coming out soon. Plenty of room on the Switch now to get some big exclusives coming, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what else makes it over to the Switch as well. I hope there's some minor announcements of re-releases of games that are on other platforms coming to the Switch, indie games and such like, because there's no game I can think of really that's on a console at least that wouldn't work on a Switch. So that's exciting. I'm
talking about the opposite of games which are coming out soon. CD Projekt Red have quite an exciting kind of bit of news, I guess, is that they have confirmed they'll be showing off an RPG for PS4, Xbox.
I wonder what it could be.
People in the office here might have confirmed it's definitely The Witcher 1 remastered. But no, everyone wants to see some Cyberpunk, right? And
right, yeah. Imagine if it's not. Imagine the balls on it if it's not. I would admire them no end if it was not Cyberpunk.
No, it's funny because they have promised another game between, as well as Cyberpunk, another game between now and 2019 in some sort of business meeting, announcement, presentation or something.
That's right, yeah.
Somewhere
they mentioned it rather than...
Yeah, they mentioned that there are 2 games in the works, so one has to be Cyberpunk. And the other one, Witcher 1 remastered, maybe.
I'd take that, man. I'd take that. If it's running
thing.
in the Witcher 3 engine and stuff and looking the way that Witcher 3 does, a bloody good looking game, I'd be all over that one. That'd be great. So the CD Projekt, obviously one of the most highly anticipated
for sure
moments of the show, for sure. That's definitely something to keep an eye on. We've also got Remedy, whose new game will be revealed at E3. Developer Remedy Entertainment announced they'll be showing off a new title. Perhaps best known as the creators of Max Payne, Alan Wake a little bit more recently, and very much recently the game TV hybrid Quantum Break, which was Microsoft kind of console exclusive. Their new game, codenamed Project 7, is said to be a cinematic third-person action game, which sounds very much in keeping with everything else they've done, set in a newly created universe, so it's a new IP. Remedy's new game will be part of publisher 505 Games E3 lineup and is slated to release for PC, PS4 and Xbox One. So that's interesting. It won't be a kind of Microsoft exclusive. They're a good studio, Remedy. I think Quantum Break was kind of the people that have played it, they all seem to go, it's a good game. It's a really good game, but it just didn't. I don't know. It didn't light the world on fire like it perhaps could have done, and it had that tie-in with a TV show and stuff, which kind of complicates things a little bit in people's minds, I guess. But generally, consensus is that it's a good game, and it went a little bit under the radar, a little bit underrated. So definitely look forward to what they're doing.
And that's it. So next up, Capcom are going to show off a new action-adventure game. Capcom have been on a bit of a rebound recently with the critically acclaimed Resident Evil 7, giving the franchise a much-needed spark and a plan to resurrect some of the classic IPs. On the E3 exhibitor directory, Capcom USA is scheduled to show an unannounced action-adventure game and a fighting game. Interestingly, the action-adventure game is listed for all platforms with the exception of the PS4, which has led people to believe it might be part of some exclusivity deal.
Yeah, that is very interesting. The thought that it could be, could be just on the Xbox or something. I'm interested to see what Capcom have got for sure. I was a big fan of Resident Evil 7, and I feel like they've kind of turned a corner, I think, for me at least. They've turned a corner a little bit in my eyes, and I kind of look forward again to what they're doing, and I'm not kind of scoffing at stuff like I have been in the past. I'm definitely excited to see what they've got. I think E3 overall, that's kind of the biggest announcements, I guess, and the biggest things that we are anticipated, and tinted by what we are looking forward to see. I think it would be cool if you could let us know down in the comments what you're interested in, because, well, if only for the fact that it would be interesting, but also because it can help us with our coverage a little bit. Like if you get a sense of what you guys are really anticipating, if there's anything that we haven't mentioned, any games that you're really keen to find out more about, then that'll help us out. So let us know down in the comments what you're looking forward to in this year's E3. Remember to like and subscribe if you happen to enjoy this video. In just a second, there will be another video on your screens which you can watch right now, and a link to Patreon if you want to support the channel. Thanks again for watching. We'll see you next time.